Iran has officially pulled out of upcoming nuclear negotiations with the United States as Israel launched a significant attack on Iran. Israel calling it a preemptive strike targeting Iranian nuclear facilities around the country, along with military installations, nuclear scientists, and military and really political leaders across Iran. I have the latest this morning. According to Reuters, Iran is pulling out of upcoming nuclear negotiations with the United States. A sixth round of negotiations was scheduled for Sunday. It looks like that's no longer going to be happening. It's looking increasingly likely that Iran is going to be pulling out of nuclear negotiations with the United States completely. But last night, Israel really did devastate Iran's nuclear capabilities. And so it did set the nuclear program in Iran backwards several years, probably. Donald Trump has issued an ultimatum to Iran this morning, stating that he gave Iran 60 days to strike a deal with the United States of America. We are now on day 61. He said, quote, 2 months ago, I gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to, quote, make a deal. They should have done it. Today is day 61. I told them what to do, but they just couldn't get there. Now they have perhaps a second chance. Trump praised Israel's strike overnight, saying it is, quote, excellent, and warned that there is a lot more to come, a lot more. And speaking about a lot more, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Israel is prepared to strike Iran over the course of 2 weeks. Now, before I continue, it's going to be a long day. It was a long night, so please consider supporting my work by subscribing to my Substack, clicking the button below, or sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. Axios is now reporting that two Israeli officials are saying that Trump and his team only publicly opposed the strike against Iran while privately signaling support for Israel. And that comes as Israeli officials are actively hoping that the United States will actually join their mission in Iran, making it easier to hit deeply buried nuclear sites. Some of the biggest nuclear sites in Iran are 80 to 90 meters underground. And so striking those is very difficult. But if the United States were to support Israel in striking Iran and United States bombers in the air, then it would allow Israel to target those deeply rooted nuclear sites. We'll see if the United States gets involved. But I think the last thing the United States wants right now is to be at war with Iran. And Iran did say overnight that Israel's attack is a declaration of war. Now, Iran retaliated. Iran launched about 100 drones after the initial strikes last night. This was a very minor retaliation. Israel was able to take down all of the drones along with the help of other allied nations. So we'll see if there's going to be a greater response from Iran that includes ballistic missiles. Because if you remember, drones take hours to go from Iran to Israel. It's not a close, they're not that close in the region. And so when you launch a drone from Iran to Israel, Israel is aware that, hey, drones are coming, we can shoot them down. Ballistic missiles take only about 10 minutes to get from Iran to Israel. And so it's much harder to combat ballistic missile strikes. But we'll see if Iran even has the capabilities to do that today. Israel's strike on an underground command center killed IRGC Air Defense Commander Brigade General Davud Shekian. Israel also believes that it killed General Amir Ali Hajzada. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, who is the head of IRGC's aerospace unit, along with other officials in a targeted strike. And the Syrian government has now temporarily closed its airspace until about 3 p.m. today. Now, in non Israel Iran news in the United States, overnight a federal appellate court, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, issued an administrative stay blocking a lower court order that said that what Donald Trump did, federalizing the National Guard, was unconstitutional and illegal. And so the Ninth Circuit issued an administrative stay to consider the merits of the appeal. Two Trump judges on the panel, one Biden appointee on the panel. The panel will hold oral arguments on the 17th over whether or not to elongate the stay, potentially rule. We'll see what happens. But this is a case that'll go to the United States Supreme Court pretty quickly. But at least for now, Donald Trump continues to be able to federalize the National Guard. Meanwhile, ICE has ramped up workplace immigration raids to meet Donald Trump's deportation goals, sparking fears among immigrant workers and disruption for businesses. As protests over immigration raids continue in Los Angeles, businesses are actually struggling with empty streets, fearful workers, and vanishing customers. Many storefronts are actually boarded up right now in the 1 square mile radius in downtown Los Angeles. Tomorrow, over 1,900 protests are planned, the No King's Day protests. It is scheduled to rain in Washington, D.C. on Donald Trump's military parade, so it will be raining on his parade. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, how many people turn out. According to my reporting, they're expecting over 3.5 million people to be protesting Donald Trump across the globe. In Newark, a fight over lack of food at the ice run Delaney Hall drew a heavy police response just last month. The city's mayor was arrested during a confrontation with federal agents at the same facility. Speaker Johnson narrowly avoided a floor defeat after persuading Republican Representative Nick LaLota to flip his vote. And as a result, the $9.4 billion rescission package, which codifies Doge's cuts into law, cutting funding from PBS and global AIDS programs, has passed the House and will now move on to the United States Senate. Today, Kilmar Abrego Garcia will be arraigned in Nashville on trafficking charges. Meanwhile, in Maryland, his lawyers are seeking sanctions against the Trump administration for defying a lawful court order. And the Trump administration will extend its 50% steel tariffs to appliances like fridges, ovens, and dishwashers starting June 23rd, which means if you're going to be purchasing an appliance, I would purchase it in the next 10 days before those upcoming tariffs take effect. That's all the news right now. We'll see what happens next. Spread the word, subscribe to my Substack by clicking the button below, or support my work by sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas, and I'll see you a lot throughout the day.